Hello and welcome. On behalf of the whole team here at ILSI, we're really excited to share something we believe is a clear, achievable path to protecting nature. We've put together a blueprint to get there, and we'd love to walk you through it.
This quote, it really just cuts to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? We're facing this incredibly stark choice because our current approach has this one fundamental flaw. There's no permanent, truly irreversible legal protection for the natural world. And that's exactly what has to change.
And this number, well, it's just staggering. What's really frightening is the sheer speed of this loss, a 73% decline in wildlife populations in just over 50 years. This isn't some far-off, slow-moving problem. It's a crisis that's unfolded in a single human lifetime, and it's telling us loud and clear that our current strategies just aren't cutting it.
Okay, so that's the bad news. But, and this is a really big but, there's an incredibly powerful reason for hope. There's a proven model out there that shows us that permanent protection on a massive scale isn't some fantasy. It's actually already happened.
Just look at the resilience here. For over 65 years, right through the absolute height of the Cold War and all kinds of global pressures, the Antarctic Treaty has held strong. This wasn't just a friendly suggestion. It was binding international law that set aside an entire continent for peace and for science, and it actually worked.
So the huge takeaway here is that the Antarctic precedent isn't just some interesting fact from a history book. It is the foundation for a global solution. It proves that nations can come together and agree to prioritize the long-term health of our planet over short-term gains, as long as the framework is right.
So how do we take that lesson and apply it to the whole planet? Well, inspired by that success in Antarctica, we've developed our blueprint for nature. And it isn't just one single idea, it's a whole framework built on 6 interconnected pillars.
And here they are, the whole system laid out. You've got a binding treaty, connected networks, constitutional rights for nature itself, completely transparent monitoring, real economic incentives, and empowered local management. Now, each one of these is essential, but their real power comes from how they work together to create the super resilient, permanent framework for protecting our planet. Now, this is really about a fundamental shift in how we think. For way too long, we've been trying to protect nature in these little isolated islands. But that just creates genetic bottlenecks and leaves species so vulnerable. We have to move toward creating connected networks, corridors that let animals migrate and adapt to climate change, letting them build real long-term resilience. You know, nature is a web, not just a collection of dots on a map.
This next part is a legal game changer. It's about embedding the rights of nature directly into national constitutions. For instance, Ecuador has already done this. They've granted ecosystems the inherent right to exist and to flourish. And this completely changes things. Protection is no longer just a policy preference that can be reversed by the next government. It becomes a fundamental legal obligation.
So you might be wondering, how do we enforce all of this? Well, the answer is radical transparency, and it's powered by technology that we have right now. Imagine near real-time satellite images, AI that can analyze thousands of camera traps, open-source data platforms. It means anyone on Earth, not just a handful of rangers, can be a watchdog. It makes violations immediately visible and politically very costly for whoever is responsible.
And this is where we get to flip the whole economic script on its head. For too long, destroying nature has been profitable. But look at Costa Rica. They created systems like payments for ecosystem services, literally paying landowners to protect their forests. And what happened? They made conservation more profitable than deforestation. We can absolutely align our financial incentives with our ecological goals.
Our final pillar is all about who's managing the land on the ground. And the evidence here is just overwhelming. When you empower local and indigenous communities, the people who have a deep, multi-generational connection to the land, you get much better conservation outcomes. This number on the screen, in Australia, this approach has worked so well that over half of all conserved lands are now managed as indigenous protected areas. This isn't a theory, it's a proven, effective strategy, and it's working at a massive scale.
So where do you fit into all of this? Because this blueprint isn't just some idea on paper, it's a real project that needs a global team to build it, and that absolutely includes you. Your skills and your support are critical to making this whole thing a reality.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, if you have professional skills in areas like GIS analysis, or environmental law, or conservation finance, or even AI development, conservation organizations are actively looking for your help. You can be one of the people building these very systems.
But hey, you don't need a specific degree to make a huge difference. You can get involved directly. You can join community science programs, get active in policy advocacy, or even just help out with local habitat restoration. These actions create real, tangible impact right in your own community, and they all add up to the bigger picture.
And finally, never underestimate the power of strategic financial support. When you donate to organizations that have measurable results, or you help fund conservation easements, you're not just giving money away. You're investing in the people and the projects on the front lines who are building these permanent systemic solutions.
And that brings us full circle right back to that choice we started with. But now, hopefully, you can see the path forward a lot more clearly. We have the model. We have the tools.
You know, we hear this question a lot, and it's a fair one. Can making nature profitable really work at the scale we actually need? And the answer, from all the evidence, is a resounding yes. We have proven models that show it's not just possible, it's incredibly powerful when it's done right.
The proof is right there in the results. Costa Rica didn't just slow deforestation, it reversed it on a national scale. In Namibia, when local communities got to benefit directly from wildlife tourism, they became its most passionate protectors, and their elephant populations tripled. The mechanism is proven. When local incentives line up with global conservation goals, human behavior changes and nature bounces back. So ultimately, this is what it all comes down to. The components are all here, the blueprint exists, the precedents have been set, the technology is ready to go. Thank you so much for taking the time to explore this vision with us. The only question that's left is a collective one. Will we make the choice to build this future?